Hello, this is Chris back again with another video. Today we're going to talk about the Mavic Pro versus the Mavic Air. And if you're a Mavic owner, should you upgrade? So first, let's take a look at this chart. I got this off of the DJI Autel Facebook page that I'm a part of. I think HC Drones made this chart. Obviously, you see their logo there, so I just want to give a shout out to them for making this chart. There's a few things I wish were on there, but it's okay. It's pretty solid, and I think it's pretty accurate too. There's a few things I would like to double check, like the max speed and flight time, things like that. But you know, I'm sure this is correct. They did their homework. But okay, let's look at the price. Obviously, the Mavic Air is the cheapest, and the Mavic Pro is in the middle, and the Autel Evo is the most expensive. You know, distance, you know, a lot of you like to go the extra mile, so to speak, and you know, the Mavic Pro is going 7,000 meters, and so is Autel. And Mavic Air, I'm sure you could push it to 7,000 meters based on, you know, if you get the extenders or do some third-party stuff with the controller. But really, you shouldn't do that. You should have visual line of sight. But you know, there's at times that you push the envelope a little bit. Speed, that looks pretty cool. The Mavic Air is faster than the Mavic Pro. Autel is even faster. Now this is pretty cool as well. Look at the obstacle avoidance. Now the Mavic Air, from what I've seen, has front and back obstacle avoidance, and you know, the bottom too. But you know, a lot of people like to go backwards taking their shots. I like doing it, and having that extra security is cool. But is it worth buying another one? I'm kind of holding out for the next great thing, and so I don't know if the Autel or the Mavic Air are worth it for me. I'm trying to do more professional work. Eventually, I want to get the Part 107, so I'm really wondering what to do here, because the Mavic Air is great. It's very portable, but can you use it for professional work? The 21 minutes of flight time under perfect circumstances, is that reliable? I think so. But is it worth putting it in the arsenal? I don't know, because the Mavic Pro is pretty portable. I mean, that's what its selling point was for the last couple years, right? The Mavic Air is even better. It's even smaller. So I don't know, but I have all these accessories. I have a couple bags for it that work perfect for the Mavic Pro, and I can improvise and put it in another bag, blah, blah, blah. Looking at the camera quality, it looks very, very similar, all the videos that I've seen. And I've taken quite a few videos myself, and I'm just saying, is it worth it? Is the frames per second at 1080p worth it? I don't really shoot in 1080p. I shoot in 4K. Okay, well, the Autel Evo has 60 frames per second, and that seems to be the magic number in gaming, right? And I do see at 30 frames per second, some stutter here and there, but I'm wondering if that's my computer or the software that I'm using, or I don't know, because 30 frames per second is pretty good when you're playing with a mediocre computer. So yeah, I'm considering all these things, and I'm wondering, is it worth it? Okay, to conclude, I have a Mavic Pro, and is it worth it to buy either a Mavic Air or an Autel Evo? Well, if I had the money, I would buy both of them, and why not get a Mavic Pro Platinum, right? I mean, they're awesome drones, but I don't have the cash. I'm kind of pressed for cash, and I would like to get more professional. I want to get a Part 107 license, and adding these to the arsenal, is it worth it or is it not worth it if you already have a Mavic Pro? Now, the big difference that I see in many of the videos that I've seen on YouTube is the 100 megabits per second with the Mavic Air. I don't know how much the Autel Evo has, but I'm sure it's around 100 megabits or either 60 megabits. But that being said, if you look on some of the videos out there, that 60 megabits per second actually looks sharper than the 100 megabits per second. The 100 megabits per second, from what I understand, is better when there's fast action, it's at a sporting event, or low light. It looks better, supposedly. But I've taken, a few sunset shots or sunrise shots, and the Mavic Pro looks just beautiful. Okay. There's a few frames per second difference. Well, not a few, more than a few, with the Mavic Air and the Autel Evo at 1080p. They have it at 120 frames per second, and that's awesome. But 60 frames per second is usually the magic number when it comes to gaming. And one thing's for certain, the Autel Evo at 4K is at 60 frames per second versus 30 frames per second with the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro. So if that was cheaper, I would. If it was at $799, I would be considering getting the Autel Evo. Another thing is that there's more geofencing and things like that, and the DJI spying and whatever. Bear in mind that they're going to look for a solution to take down your drones, regardless if it's a DJI product or whatever. Eventually, they're going to have that technology. But in the meantime, if you just follow the rules, everything's going to be fine. Anyway, so at the moment, with all the accessories that I already have with the Mavic Pro, I am not going to upgrade. It's still a little bit too expensive, and I'm still waiting for the latest and greatest thing, and it's just not worth it for me. The gesture control, things like that, I really am not interested in that. I do like how you can just take off easier with the Mavic Air. I don't know if you can do that with the Autel Evo. That's pretty cool. But I've taken off with my hand and landed in my hand the Mavic Pro as well. I mean, it's a bit tedious. There's not an app that just kind of allows you to do that, so you do have to perfect your technique. And there's plenty of videos out there on YouTube where you can look that up on how to do that. So that's pretty cool. The whole 360 Earth thing, I'm not too interested in those type of shots. They do look cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm not interested in that. I do have an accessory that I'm testing out. I just lost the directions that whatever. But I can attach another camera. I have a 360 camera, and I'm curious to see what that looks like. If I don't want to put a 360 camera on there, I can also put an infrared camera, and there's a lot of useful things that you can do with that, in agriculture and things like that, with a infrared camera that you can attach to your Mavic. I've seen it done with Phantom Pros and Parrot Bebops. So to conclude, I am not going to upgrade, and I hope this helps other Mavic Pro owners think about buying these drones before just looking at different accessories for your Mavic Pro. Maybe that's going to make it more secure. Maybe it's going to make it even better and improve the quality of you flying. Is it going to make it more future proof? These are the things that you need to look at. And having a 3D printer, I'm going to be able to print a lot of stuff for the Mavic Pro. For example, battery covers, right? And different holders and stuff that I can use for the Mavic Pro, or propeller guards or whatever. If one of mine breaks, I don't have to go out and purchase another thing. I can just 3D print it. So yeah, hopefully this helps you guys that have the Mavic Pro, and whether you should upgrade or not.